Hello, everybody. It's Matthew and Barbara, the Weber Floyd production team for our documentary, which hopefully you have all made an effort to see. We'll keep you posted on the next festivals. We decided to do a little change of pace, and we're going to do a reporting looking at the Academy Awards, which are Sunday, March 15th. And we're going to tell you
today when this will be posted.
Yes, we're going to tell you which films we think will win the awards and which ones we think should win the awards. We're not going to try and do all of them. We're just going to sort of do the big ones. And then later,
and best casting because it's new.
And then later, after the Academy Awards, we're going to do another video on the best documentary.
Well, also more in depth on the best pictures in some of the movies that we've seen, just as movies. So there'll be two coming because we're not going to do a best documentary feature here because we haven't gotten a chance to see all of them.
Right.
And as a documentary team, we want to do a documentary video later on that's more in depth on those five, and then we'll be doing. We already have a longer video that we're doing on TV shows that is in the process of being made because we probably do watch more TV shows than movies these days. But given the Oscars are today, it's worth just giving a poke at them.
Yes. All right. Let's get started.
And let's go in reverse. Let's say best picture for last.
Okay, I think that's a good idea. Do you want to start with casting then?
Yes, let's start. Okay. Let's do casting.
A brand new category for the Academy Awards. We're very excited about this because one of our dearest friends is a casting director. Shout out to Joanna Levinger. And someday we're going to see her name up there. So hopefully. Okay, my pick for best casting, who I think will win, is for One Battle After Another. It's hard for me to say.
You have to explain why.
I know. I think it's a really interesting cast. I think it's extremely complex and diverse. And the people that they chose, whether it's Leonardo DiCaprio, Tiana Taylor, they just all really fit the complexity of the roles they're playing, showing them today and showing them 15 years ago. So for that reason, I'm going to go with One Battle After Another.
Is that your will or your should?
It's my will win, and I think it's also my should win.
Because for me, I do think, given that Sinners won the SAG for Ensemble, I have a feeling that it will win. Because I don't know what the crossover between casting and sort of actor voting body Ensemble is. I do think, as is a lot of these categories, it's between those two. I think the others don't feel big enough to get it. I think I would agree with you that the strengths of Sinners is less on the casting and more the artistry, the music, the edits, and the just symbolism and motifs in general, whereas the just explicit casting and like the fact that you're playing on the intertextuality of Leo sort of being a dimwit and Sean Penn is the bad guy, Benicio del Toro also being just weird in his own way, and Chase Infinity, I think this is her first role. This is a case where the explicit individual casting elements of One Battle, I would agree with you, but I do think that Sinners is going to win.
Because
it won the SAG award.
Good reasoning. All right. After that, we're going to go to Best International
International
Feature.
feature.
I think Sentimental Value will win, and I think it should win.
I agree with you.
Part of it is just because it may be my favorite film of the year. So I have sentimental value for sentimental value. I didn't get to see all the ones in this category. I did really like Secret Agent, and it was just an accident a lot. But I think Sentimental Value is a really special film.
Yeah, I think because both Secret Agent and It Was Just an Accident, which we saw,
Yeah,
have a lot to say, and I think are expertly put together. But and by the way, if you see me looking to my left, I have my Oscar belt literally just
yes, me
over here.
too.
So just for people watching, but no, I think like I've looked at the odds makers. I think Sentimental Value is a slight favorite, and it would be my choice as well, if only for just personal reasons. As an artistic individual, making your way through there and like dealing with depression and all of that, it's one of it's probably the movie that touched me the most as well. So
Me as well.
so
Me
yeah.
as well. Okay. Next up, Best Original Screenplay. Do you want me to go
Yes.
first? Do you want to go first?
That is a case that both the screenplay categories, in terms of the will wins, have seemed obvious for their prospective favorites. And it does appear to be continuing that way, especially after the Writers Guild Awards, that Sinners will win original screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is that who you think should win?
I do, because the concept is it's sort of like when Everything Everywhere All at Once was around,
Right.
like 2-3 years ago, and we were sort of sad that movies like Banshees and Inisherin and Triangle of Sadness didn't get recognized for their weird premises. And it was like, well, it's because Everything Everywhere has the most original script. It's the favorite, and it just is doing its thing.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. I had Sinners for Best Original Screenplay. I think it will win. Part of me, I'm very torn because I loved Blue Moon, and so there's a part of me thinks that Blue Moon should win for original screenplay, but that's not taking anything away from Sinners. I think it will win, and it's sort of
all
a
of the other
tie.
4 nominees here deserve to be here. I
Yes,
think,
absolutely.
in terms of screenplays being original.
Yes, absolutely. That's why it's a tough category to choose who you think should win, because they all belong there. They're all really good. It's easy to choose who will win. Like you said, looking at the previous award shows, they seem to divide up Sinners winning Best Original Screenplay and One Battle winning Best Adapted.
Which is my pick for adapted as
Mine
well.
too. Mine too.
And for should, I mean, I haven't read the book it's based on, which is harder to balance. Like original, you can just look as like which one feels like the most original. And because like we read the thing about Begonias had an ending that was different in the original movie that they changed to make it more nuance for the movie. So like part of me does look at that in terms of interest, but as just looking at from script essence, yeah, the One Battle is both will and should here. I think.
I agree with that. Again, I think all of them belong in that category. Not having read the original material, it's hard to say which is the best adaptation, because I really liked all the movies in this category. but I think One Battle will win, and I think it deserves to. So I don't have any argument about that. Best Supporting Actress, toughest category, toughest.
Yeah,
Each of
now we're
these,
getting into the tough areas because from here on out, I think there's only two that are obvious and even the wills. So
yes.
let's let's continue.
I mean, I'm going with Amy Madigan will win just based on her win at the SAG Awards, which, so I think that's sort of an indicator. On the other hand, each of these, Tiana Taylor has won one of them.
Yes, she won the Golden Globe.
She won the Golden Globe. I don't know how to pronounce her name, the actress from Sinners. She also won
Wunmi
another
Masaku on
right.
betting markets is the second.
Is the second. To Amy Madigan.
To Amy Madigan.
My personal favorite is the actress from Sentimental Value. I think it's a quiet, powerful performance, but I think Amy Madigan will win. And I don't have a should win for that category because they're all great. They should all win.
Well, but if should win is your personal choice, then that would be.
Yes, I would say then Inga. I can't pronounce her name either. From Sentimental Value, she is the core, the conscience, the soul to some degree of the movie, the younger sister. So without that part in that performance, the movie does not work.
And
so
she would be my should win as well. Also because what Wunmi Masaku has elements of screen time. She doesn't necessarily have as much dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Like Amy Madigan and Tiana Taylor only are on screen for like 15 or so minutes.
Right.
Total. Inga Ibsdottir Lilias. Is that how you pronounce it?
I have no idea, but that was a good try.
It feels like she has the most to do in terms
that's
of,
a good point. She really is in the entire
both
film.
quantity and quality wise.
Right.
And
listen, I loved Elle Fanning's performance.
Oh yeah.
In Sentimental Value.
And I've read articles about how she kind of, that some Elle Fanning fan was talking about how her performance in that scene felt more stilted than he or she is used to seeing an Elle Fanning performance, but it's supposed to be for that scene.
Absolutely.
And that's like you're doing triple layers of acting with that, which is hard to do, but if it's between the two of them, it would be Inga. Yes.
But we both think Amy Madigan will win.
Yeah, we do.
So for those of you at home filling out your Oscar ballots, take notes. Okay, moving to Best Supporting Actor. This one feels a little easier because Sean Penn has won most of the awards for Best Supporting Actor. Stellan Skarsgård won. Which was the one he won, Matt?
The Globe.
The Globe. So I think Sean Penn will win. It is a powerful performance, funny at times. The person
almost unhinged.
Unhinged, and so different than anything we've ever seen Sean Penn do. The person who I think should win is Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, which it's a performance that just breaks your heart. It's so poignant. You know, he's the monster who's not the monster, the scientist is. And I think incredibly difficult to pull off. So that's who I would say should win, but I think Sean Penn will win. And not that he doesn't deserve it.
I think he will win as well. It's like my should feels like it feels like Stellan Skarsgård should win. And maybe that's almost one of those bias things because he really should be in the category for Best Actor.
Yeah, he really should. I'm not sure why he's in supporting.
Because he also is having to carry. He has to both be likable and unlikable at the same time,
Right.
and that is
Hard to do.
hard to do. Yeah, and
Delroy Lindo is great
Delroy Lindo
in
is
Sinners
great.
as well. So is Benicio del Toro in One Battle. These are all wonderful, wonderful performances. But Sean Penn has been racking up the awards, so I think it would be a surprise if he doesn't win. On to Best Actor, another tough category, which has been.
Let's actually get Best Actress out of the way first because it's obvious.
Easy.
And then we'll go to Best Actor.
Easy peasy, Jessie Buckley for Hamnet for Best Actress.
Both will and should. I enjoyed Renate, Emma Stone, Kate. I didn't watch Song Song Blue. You did, but
I did, and Kate Hudson gives a beautiful performance, and boy, can she sing! Who knew she had such an incredible voice? And I loved Emma Stone in Begonia. Begonia is one of my favorite movies of the year. I loved everything about it, and she makes it believable. I don't want to do spoilers for the end, but Jessie Buckley's performance in Hamnet to show this mother's grief. It's a reason she has won almost all the awards. Rose Byrne won one of them, didn't she?
Yeah, she won the Globe.
She won the Globe.
Would be if there was some astronomical upset, I feel like it would be, because she does have a lot to do and also has to be both likable and unlikable at the same time. But like the lift that Jessie Buckley has to go through in the gamut of emotions in that film and Hamnet.
So we agree with that. Will win.
There is a separator between her and the rest of the field.
Yes, it would be a huge upset if she doesn't win. So now we go back to Best Actor.
Let's go to Actor.
Best Actor is a tough category. I think Michael B. Jordan will win.
So do I. I think the SAG is the biggest predictor. I think there wasn't that much time left in between Chalamet's scandal and the end of awards voting, but I think like enough to maybe make a difference, and the SAG award is the biggest indicator. You know, he plays two parts. He plays twins, and each one has a very different personality. Yes.
So it's a really heavy lift. Personally, I think the one who should win is Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon.
Same. I think and it's maybe even more so because he's the one that isn't even talked about at all.
I know.
It's like,
I know.
The dark horse that's talked about here is Wagner Moura and Leo because he's Leo, but like no one mentions Hawke in like any breath.
I know.
And you talk about having to go through like 6, 7, 8 layers of character emotions. He's on screen for basically the entire movie, which is in real time.
Yes.
It feels like he is doing the most. Even like Chalamet and Michael B. Jordan are very close, but I feel like Ethan Hawke is up here.
Yes, I do too. So we're in agreement.
And that's coming from me, and I liked Chalamet's performance, I think, more than you.
Yeah, you liked Marty Supreme more than I did. It was an interesting crop of movies for me this year. I didn't dislike any of them, but I didn't love any of them either. There wasn't a movie, it wasn't like an Oppenheimer year or a Coda or a movie that I just fell in love with. But Marty Supreme, I think, was my least favorite of them. You liked it more than I did. Chalamet gives an amazing performance. I just wasn't that crazy.
Because I've read bits of like the performance as one note. It's like, that's not true. Like he has to do a lot with like emotions in his eyes.
My God, yeah. And he has to play ping pong.
Right. But even having said that, I think Ethan Hawke is my should, and that's not going to happen. So.
Yeah. And Michael B. Jordan is the one who will win. Okay, we go to Best Director, and I'm going with Paul Thomas Anderson
Yeah.
because he has won most of the awards.
And he's won
for director.
he won the Globe, he won the Directors Guild.
Right.
Might have won the BAFTA too. Who won the BAFTA? Did he win the
I wrote it
BAFTA? I feel
down.
like
Let
he
me
did.
see.
Yeah,
Uh,
he did.
Yes, he did. He did win the BAFTA. So, I mean, I think he will win. Do I think it's a directing accomplishment more than these other directors, more than Ryan Coogler? No, but I think he will win because he has won all the awards. So it just seems to be indicating that. So I
Yeah,
don't
'cause
have a
when I
should.
think of like direction, it's like I feel like Ryan Coogler should at least be in the conversation
Right, right,
because it's like Sinners and One Battle are considered neck and neck for Best Picture, but not for
right,
this. And some of the direction scenes by PTA in One Battle, especially the car chase scene at the end,
right.
are
Oh,
like
right,
astronomically high level. Like I pointed out when we were watching it, is like sort of felt it had captured elements of being a western while being set in like the modern times.
right.
Is all like
I think that's definitely
is all
true.
like very very excellent, but some are like the shot selections and movements and combining that with the music in Sinners feels like it at least should be in the discussion.
Yeah,
And that's not to dunk on the other ones either. All the other like these feel like they are because everyone says that like the best director is the separator between the high level best pictures and the ones after. And
right.
I do feel like that's the case. In terms of movies that feel like they have just the most that have stayed with me the most, it probably
Hmm.
would be those five.
Yeah,
But um but yeah, I think PTA is gonna win.
yeah. I think he will win, and I think he should win. So now we come to Best Picture.
And
Um,
this one let's do our gold, silver, and bronze.
okay.
Because they do rank choice voting.
They do ranked choice voting. That's true. All righty. So I'm going for the gold, and the one I think will win is One Battle After Another. How about you? Who's your gold?
I think that Sinners is gonna squeak in there. And I
Really?
think that is due to the ranked choice element of the um system because it's like you and I both liked One Battle, my dad didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Um Ironically it feels like he likes Sinners more than you, which is weird. It
It
usually is
is
not the case.
interesting.
It's also not his genre either. But the
I mean, I did like One Battle more than Sinners. That's true.
but it seems like the people that like One Battle more still have Sinners as like number 3, 4, or 5, whereas the people that don't like One Battle have it as like number 9 or something. And
Mm,
it's like that in the ranked choice element feels like it's going to be the thing that happens, especially if voters decide to do the thing of um, splitting the director and picture when
that's
these
true.
so
Which in
close
recent
together.
years they have done more of. So you give Sinners the gold, I give One Battle the gold. I was giving Sinners the, yeah, see, this is tough because
Well, this is
actually,
just the wills. We'll do our shoulds. Well,
okay,
what's
so
your
this
gold,
is the
silver, and
will.
bronze for your wills?
Okay, for the wills, silver goes to Sinners and bronze goes to Hamnet.
Yeah, that would be like silver for me is One Battle and bronze is Hamnet.
And
Like
Hamnet is Hamnet.
if there is some surprise dark horse that sneaks in there, I feel like it would be Hamnet.
I
I
feel
don't think
like it.
that's
And
going to happen, but
Hamnet
yeah,
did win Best Picture in one of the awards. I can't remember which one.
it won best drama at the Globes.
Yes, that's right. Um, And in terms of those are my gold, silver, and bronze for
In terms of
Will.
the shoulds, let's do gold, silver, and bronze for the
Gold, silver, and bronze for the shoulds. Very, very tough. All right, for my shoulds, gold is sentimental value, silver is Hamnet, and bronze is Frankenstein.
Interesting. Because sentimental value would also be my gold.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sinners is my number 2 because I can already tell that, like, for reference, people watching, like, we just watched Sinners like today, so it's fresh on the mind, and it's like I could already tell that, like, this movie is going to stay with me for a while.
For a while,
I'll
there you
probably
go.
rewatch it again. Like, there's so much symbolism in it, etc., etc. Did it emotionally affect me as on par with sentimental value? No. And for bronze,
It's hard.
it's hard. Yeah. I think I'll give it to One Battle in some ways because I liked it more than I expected.
Okay.
It's like all the other ones here were like going into them. It's like, okay, yes. Whereas I had read like some of like the negative press about One Battle and whatnot, so I like was going into watching it like trepidatiously, but then like both of us really enjoyed it.
Yes.
And
More than I thought I would.
and especially in this sea of very, very like very dark endings in a lot of
Yes.
these
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
Like the fact that One Battle, even though it's plenty heavy, actually has like it gives you a lift at the end.
Yes.
Like meant something to me.
Yes.
So that probably would be my bronze.
And, just to give a shout out to some of the other movies that we really haven't mentioned, I thought Begonia was just a hoot.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned really Train Dreams or
No.
F1 because
F1 was a great movie, and it's a very traditional structure. It's got a wonderful uplifting message, and it doesn't break your heart at the end like so many of these movies. Train Dreams I found so sad, just so crushingly sad. Cinematically, it was beautiful, but just so sad. Secret Agent, so sad.
Yeah.
So it was nice with F1 to see, something that was almost sort of a happy ending. There's just a lot of sad movies this year. But an interesting list, an eclectic list, a variety list. And I think all of them belong there. There wasn't a single movie that I felt, what is this movie doing on the list for Best Picture?
Yeah. Like there are movies that I would love to have. It's like it's sort of you can tell how the Academy has changed. Like in a different era, I feel like Blue Moon totally would have been nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, that to me is the surprise. There are two surprises with the Oscars. That Blue Moon wasn't nominated for Best Picture and Wicked wasn't nominated for anything.
Yeah, that surprises me.
Yeah.
It's like I would have expected Ariana to get in there for supporting and it to be nominated for like makeup and production design.
I know. So that was really a shock. That was my favorite movie of the year, was Wicked. Whether it's because they got so many nominations for part one, I do not know.
I think it's because they got a lot of nominations for part one, and then any person with eyes can tell that part two is not as good as one.
Yes, I think that's
And
true.
I think then relatively, it's like it ends up moving out of your mind.
I think that's true. So those are our picks. We'll get this posted, so it'll help you fill out your own ballot, enjoy your Academy Award party.
And we will be coming back with more videos. We will be coming back with a more in-depth video on the pictures, both in the Oscars that have at least been nominated for stuff, including, like, we haven't mentioned K-pop Demon Hunters or Avatar or any of the other movies that are like hanging around there that didn't get nominated for any like the biggies. So,
but we'll be coming back and discussing it after the Academy Awards, so we could talk about, and because we are documentary filmmakers, we do want to see all of the documentaries.
Feature.
Yes, we'll do a special one for documentaries.
And we also have a video on TV shows that is in the works that will be appearing soon.
Yes, it will. So thank you for watching and listening, and I'll let you close it out, Matt.
I just interrupted you twice, so you should close it out.
So I should close it out. Thank you for joining us. We had so much fun. This is something we've always done together, which is watch the movies for the Academy Awards. It's something we've always enjoyed. We're happy to share that with you. And so we'll be back after the Academy Awards to talk about the other films and then specifically looking at documentaries. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us as well. Until next time.